Although the piano is a very old world instrument and something that really hasn't changed much over the last 100 or so years, especially the way that the parts function, one thing that has changed is the materials they use to build them. Wood, although considered to be the traditional and the only way to build piano parts, has been tested by the new material, carbon fiber. Wessel, Nickle Gross has really taken technology and the ability and all their research and created what we consider to be a fantastic product and really superior to wood. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. First of all, we're going to talk about the ability for durability. This is a hammer shank and flange, or shank and flange without the hammer on it. Same thing with wood right here. We expect this part to move here and not this way. But for whatever reason, just for demonstration purposes, it were to get something hard from the side, this is something I can easily break. This is just a traditional wood shank. Do the same thing with a carbon fiber. You can see my knuckles are turning pretty white here. I'm pushing on that hard both sides. Well, who's ever going to go in and try and break a shank that way? It's not going to happen. But this is showing you the durability of a part versus the durability of wood. The other part of that is that because it doesn't have wood fiber in it, it's going to be way less susceptible, or actually almost nearly unsusceptible, to moisture fluctuation, which is one of the number one things that we deal with whenever we're dealing with regulation. And the other part of that is we have something called a hard bushing in the piano, or in our flange. In the hard bushing, they actually ran a test where they put a carbon fiber and 2 wood hammers, and they did 1,000,000 test blows on some wire. And after the 1,000,000th test blow, they still were getting the same amount of pinning here, and it was still functioning properly on the carbon fiber, but the 2 wood pieces, the wood around there and the felts had completely destroyed themselves after 1,000,000 blows. So really the longevity is a very important part. Another thing that's fantastic about these parts is that they are very customizable. You see here, like this is a Steinway style whipping, and it's missing, a heel. There's nothing there, but I can go in and pick a heel and then find a spot that I want it to go and put it exactly where I want to for whenever it comes to parts replication. Same thing also here with my flange. They have several different model flanges available, but this particular style fits a Steinway, so you can go in and match it up to the exact part. So whenever it comes to rebuilding, we can go in and test and make sure it's going to be the exact part for that piano, which is absolutely fantastic and just brilliant engineering. Also, you can see this is just a smaller part. It's not as bulky as other, and it weighs a lot less. Another fantastic product available from Wessel, Nickle Gross is they have what they call an anodized capstan. The reason that this is a superior product, in my humble opinion, is first of all, its weight. Traditionally, a capstan is going to weigh around somewhere to 6 to 7 grams. This weighed up is going to be less than a gram. Well, to be able to replace that type of weight is just going to make it to where you're not going to have to work as much to get those keys playing. And it's also going to offer more consistency because this is always going to weigh the same exact amount as its neighbor. Carbon fiber does not fluctuate in density ever. So it's always going to be the same amount as the one right next to it. Another thing that's nice about it is brass will tarnish over time. You see brass getting green over years, and that's what original capstans are made of. So every so often it's a good maintenance thing on a brass capstan to go through and polish it, or if they get tarnished enough, to replace them. With this, it's got the same type of material you'd often see like in a cooking pan. It doesn't ever really get any type of friction to it. So once that's installed, that bad boy's good to go for life. Another fantastic thing they have is a key pin that is also the same type of material, like the anodized carbon fiber. You're going to see here with your traditional metal one, that's the same thing. Over time, that metal's going to get tarnished. It's going to have to be lubricated. With these, really not worried so much about weight, but I am worried about strength. And as we saw earlier, a carbon fiber is going to be just about as strong as anything, but we're not going to have to worry about ever getting any tarnish or any friction additional on those key pins. From time to time on a traditional set, we have to clean those up and buff them and polish them. So upgrading to these or switching out to these, never going to have to deal with that again.